The first time I saw Vince Evans, he had no shirt on. It looked like a Greek god, Adonis, and zipping the ball 70 yards down the field, ripping it on out routes. And I'm thinking to myself, if you gotta look like this and throw the ball like that, I will never play here at USC.
So it's interesting that when you saw Vince Evans, you were pretty intimidated, because when people look at your career, you went on to become starting quarterback on the national championship team, All American quarterback, went on and played in the NFL. But when you first got there, I think people don't realize about you, you were a freshman and there were 9 quarterbacks on the depth chart and you were number 9. You've told me this great story, which I love, is the first day of practice, the other 8 guys were all playing catch and you had to go find like a student manager to play catch with.
Yeah.
So how do you go from being this guy who sees Vince Evans, this supremely athletic dude, and you're 9th on the depth chart, how do you go from there to being a guy who can even become a backup, much less a starter, much less an All-American? What was that progression like? How did you even do that?
It took a lot of grit to do it, you know, because there was a lot to overcome, one of which was the fact that I was never going to be Vince Evans, no matter what I did. Right. I was never going to be as fast as he was, no matter what I did. I was never going to be as strong as he was. I was never going to throw the ball as far as he could, as hard as he could. By the way, he threw it without laces too, which is kind of interesting.
Wow.
Never used the laces.
Wow.
He had a little needle, he stuck it in the ball and air would come out. You heard Tom Brady,
him and
right?
Tom Brady.
Yeah, he was way before Brady.
way
before Brady. Yeah, and he was a master at it. Anyway, I digress, but I wasn't ever going to be Vince Evans. Right. So I had to focus on Paul McDonald. Mm-hmm. So who was Paul? What was Paul good at? How do we improve those areas, refine those areas to get it to a point where it's completely reliable?
But you can't throw the ball as far as the guy. You're not as fast as the guy. So what are those things that you can do?
Worked on mechanics till the cows come home, and footwork. Footwork was a key thing for the quarterback coach, Paul Hackett. I mean, that was a huge thing. Also, cerebral, from the neck up, making good decisions. Not throwing interceptions, getting the ball to the right guy on time. So footwork gets the ball to them on time, and understanding the defenses, obviously anticipating and reads and all of that were hugely important. That's a lot of film work in the film room to understand defenses and how they work, and which you want to, where you want to get the ball versus cover 3 or 2 or whatever defense you're running up against. And so those are the things I spent a great deal of time on, And if you're in the film room and you've kind of started figuring out what's going to happen, when it's on the field, you see it maybe a little quicker than the guy who hasn't put in that effort. So there is the speed makeup, right? You're seeing it faster, you're reacting to it faster, so you may not have that foot speed, but you have the brain speed. Yeah, I mean, most of our stuff was in the pocket, so, I wish I had the foot speed when I got out of the pocket. Like John Robinson used to say, he doesn't run very fast, but what's good about that is while he is running, he can see what's going on downfield. So I had that going for me. But you have to be who you are, right? You have to understand who that is, and then take that and understand how you can improve that person. And that's what I did. How can I get better at the accuracy? How can I get better at the timing and the anticipation? And I improved. From my first year to my senior year, those 3 years, I improved a tremendous amount. You figured out that Vince Evans wasn't going to be who you were. You were going to be the cerebral quarterback. You were going to be the accurate quarterback. And I think that translates to people in life, right? I think in any career that you enter into, anything you walk into, there's gonna be people more talented than you. Yes. So you have to figure out, what are you more talented at, right? And that in your case that was the cerebral part, but in other people's it could be anything. It could be anything that they're uniquely talented at. It could be anything. That's why you need to tap into who you are. That's, the number one thing that everyone needs to do, no matter what it is. So you may not, when you graduate from medical school, you might not be the top of your class, but maybe you have other gifts that you can bring to the table that could allow you to have a flourishing practice, no matter what that is. And that could be the business acumen, that could be the personal relationship acumen, that could be whatever. Maybe just people love you and they want to work for you, and so you hire the best people, and so maybe you're partnered with others. It could be anything, but understanding obviously who you are is like, the number one starting point for anybody, no matter what they're doing. And for me, with getting from the 9th string quarterback to becoming the starter, it was a lot of sweat, a lot of time, a lot of effort. And why did I do that? Why? Because I loved it.
Right. And I think also that one of the things that people get hung up on, and it's really great that you didn't, at a young age you kind of figured out, is this whole keeping up with the Joneses thing. So the natural reaction might be, well, if Vince Evans is strong, I'm going to do nothing but get in the weight room. If Vince Evans is fast, I'm going to figure out a way to get as fast as he is. And obviously you can only do that to some degree. God gave you a body, he gave him a body. So, I think in our society that's a big problem is that we're always comparing ourselves to other people. And, the guy next door, what he's accomplished, well, now I got to go and accomplish it, rather than just focusing on your own life and what you've got and being happy with it and having gratitude.
There's only one of you. There's only one Jack Baric, there's only one Paul McDonald, and there's only one of the 8 billion people who are out there. There's only one unique person in each of the 8 billion, right? So, but that's the issue, is we tend to compare ourselves with others. And the big culprit today, is social media. And somebody had like 50 likes. Well, I'm going to get 100 likes. And, it's your value as a person is viewed and judged by the number of likes you get. No, that's not the case. If you've got great content to put out there, put it out there. And expect nothing in return. No attachment to an outcome. Just you want to put it out there, put it out there. You're not comparing yourselves with others. As I like to tell my wife, Allison, it's not a competition.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But we make everything a competition.
Even Instagram, like you said, is it a competition? And we live our best Instagram life. We're in a cool restaurant or on a cool vacation, and it's all about kind of putting on the dog for other people, rather than just really focusing on the things in life that are more important. Your family, your health, and everything else. It becomes this thing, this competition that it's easy to get sucked into it.
Totally. It's very easy, and in sales, we even post every month, 1 through 30, who's in the lead and who did the most production and all this other stuff. And so, if you're motivated by that, that's good. I mean, to be competitive is a really important thing, right? You want to do your best, right? But, you need to be your best self, not somebody else's best self. So do your best, it'll be good enough. If it's not, then you should be doing something else.
There's, that your best self thing, I think people get a little bit intimidated by that. Like they have this standard they have to achieve and even that becomes a competition. I think they lose the sight of the meaning of it, which is that, again, your best self is what you're the best at. And what you might be the best at might not even have anything to do with your career. You might be the best Little League coach. You might be the best brother, sister, whatever. And so when we talk about your best self, it's not just your best self as compared to the guy next to you. It's your best self. And that's all you can do is, be the best you can, not what other people expect of you or what you expect of yourself compared to other people.
And in every phase of your life, not just your job or what you do to make money, in, your relationships. And if you're a parent or a child or a brother or sister, whatever it might be, it's in what you give to society, what you give to community, your charitable endeavors, things like that. It's your body, taking care of your body, your fitness level, what you put in your mouth, being conscious of all those things. It's all of those things, right, and more. It's the spiritual side. Are you being still? Are you connecting with your higher power, whoever that might be? Because that's important. All of those elements are critically important to have a fulfilled life, right, and have balance in your life. So how could you possibly compare yourself to another? Why should you? Why would you? Because we're all so different people. But I think it's encouragement that you could bring your best self to each and every day, if you look at it that way. Instead of looking at the next person, I could never be Vince Evans, right? I could be a really good Paul McDonald, maybe the best Paul McDonald. And actually, a great story to tell is Vince Evans, at the end of his senior year, was MVP in the Rose Bowl. And we were sitting there kind of in a post-Rose Bowl meeting with all the quarterbacks. And I thanked Vince for what I learned from him. I said, thank you so much for, helping me grow and evolve this freshman year that I had. And he said, no, Paul, you helped me a lot. I'm like, how did I help you?
Right.
He said, you showed me how to put touch on the football.
Right.
And I said, Vince, I thought I was throwing it hard. He's like, no, really. Because he had one speed.
Right.
He'd throw a swing route to the back who was 10 yards away,
right.
the same speed on the ball as he'd throw a 30-yard on a line in route.
Yeah.
Or
So we can learn from each other. We don't have to
Yes.
compare and compete with
Yeah.
each other, but we can learn from each
That
other.
meant a lot to me, and that really opened my eyes with just what you just said. Everyone's learning from everybody else. We're all in this thing together. We can all pick up something from somebody else so that, again, we can improve, we can grow, we can evolve.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
This is the part where we're supposed to tell people to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Okay, will you please do that then? I mean,
Yeah.
if you enjoy it,
Yeah.
please do.
And if you don't, do it anyways, because we need your help.
We do.
Also, we have a website called GameChangeNation.com. Just go there and subscribe and you'll get tons of free content.
And what we're really trying to do is create a community of people that love sports.
Yep.
And the great lessons that we learn from sports, but we want to hear from you.
We do. So we're going to have a bunch of social media pages from TikTok to Instagram to Twitter to Facebook. Instagram, I probably already said all of them. Please join them and tell us your stories. We'd love to hear from you. Oh, and we wrote a book.
Oh,
Forgot about that.
Forgot that.
The book is called Through the Tunnel. It's available on Amazon now. If you go straight down here to this link that you can see below us, you will be able to purchase it. We'd love it if you could do it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.